Hope everybody's having a great winter day on their homesteads. After all the fires and everything out in California and all the damage that has caused and the lives lost, and lessons to be learned from that is keep your underbrush, keep your fuel for fires down, and replenish the earth. So I've started doing that here on our new homestead. This area right here, I've already cleared out so much of the underbrush. You got a lot of this cleared up, and it looked like this before. I've still got some tree thinning to do, but I've cleared out a lot of the loose underbrush and stuff, and I got this cleaned up quite a bit. But if we did have a fire out here, then I want to reduce the risk of that fire spreading to our houses, our barns, and the rest of the woods. I really don't want to burn down this beautiful forest. Beautiful trees out here. Well, there's a trail that I've cleared, and I've done some brush burning up there. But as you can see, I've still got quite a bit more to do, getting all this undergrowth and trees that have been naturally pruned by the wind, getting a lot of that cleaned up. So I've had several fires now and have burned tons and tons of brush, just doing little sections at a time. So today, my project is this one. So there's an old dead tree in there, and it was just killed by all the vines and things, and I'm cutting all that up and getting it burned. So it is really good for the land, it's good for the soil, so we can replenish the nutrients and minerals from the ashes and stuff. So after I get the majority of the undergrowth and the brush and stuff cleaned out, then I'll do some selective cutting on a few of the trees to make it a little bit less dense. This area that we live in is supposed to be what's called a post oak savanna. So we've got a good mix of hardwoods, pines, a little bit of everything. And I want to return it to more of a savanna state, meaning we've got large areas that look more like this, where we've got big, tall, mature trees. Of course, some of them are dormant in the winter, but this is an area that I have cleaned out. There's a few places where we're going to leave brush piles like this one for wildlife. But all of this material that's on the ground, I'll also do some prescribed burning to clear the ground and let the vegetation and things come back, because under the pines particularly, this mat of pine needles is not going to let as much of the natural grasses and things come back. So if your homestead has places like this where it's really full of brush, full of debris, you know, I'm just going to encourage everybody to do small sections at a time and clear out as much of that as you can. So that's my project for today. I just pick a day here and there where I'll spend that day burning brush and clearing out undergrowth, just small sections at a time. Then I'll take the ashes and I'll spread them out once they're nice and cold. Spread those ashes out and try to remineralize the soil as best I can in as many places as I can. And then we'll do some prescribed burning on the ground afterwards. But I really want to clear out as much of this underbrush and undergrowth as I possibly can. So pigs and chickens and goats would all be good at clearing up a lot of the live growth. But so much of what we have out here in our woods are things that are dead like this, and really nothing's going to eat that. So there are some mature old dead trees. You see this one right back here. So we really want to leave some of these dead trees standing for wildlife. We have quite a few of the large pileated woodpeckers here in our area, and that's perfect habitat for them. So some of the dead standing trees will actually end up leaving for them, but a lot of the small stuff that is fuel for fires, we're going to get that taken care of and get it all burned. So I'm going to get busy. I'm going to start working on getting some of this stuff over here cut up and on the fire, and just keep this fire going today. We got a lot of cold weather coming next week. This week, it's not bad at all. It starts out below freezing or at freezing in the morning, but then during the day it warms up into the mid-50s. So pretty good time for doing this, pretty good opportunity to get some burning done. We've got really light wind. It's very, very light out of the north today. So just be careful if you're making these fires. Choose a place where you're far enough away from other trees that you could catch on fire. So just want to make sure that not starting a fire that I really can't control or really don't want. So I just kind of raked out an area there and raked it so that I didn't have a lot in contact with my fire. I did have to move it. I realized it was a little too close to these trees right here, so I just moved it a few feet back based on our wind direction. So anyway, we're going to be doing some trimming, some cutting, and burning brush this afternoon. So hope you find that useful. And just a reminder, we don't want the same results they've had in California. So we all need to manage our forests, manage our woods, keep everything under control, and sort of restore it back to how it was originally. You know, whatever section, whatever area you live in, whether it's a grassland or like we're here in the post oak savanna or in the piney woods, you know, just our conifer forest. It just depends on where you live. Blackland prairie. Let's keep this underbrush and stuff under control so we don't see repeats of all the mistakes made in California. So I'm going to get busy with this. It's actually a lot of fun to be out in the woods, enjoying nature. When I do this, when I've been doing this burning of the brush and cleaning all of those things up, just a little bit at a time. I try not to get my fire too large, so it's manageable. It's something I can somewhat control. I've actually even got a fire extinguisher. It's right down the hill, right there, so I know where it is. It's close to me. Don't really have a good way to get water up here, but fire extinguisher, and that's also why the tractor's up here and the rake, so I can do some fire control with these tools. But think about when the Indians, the Native Americans, lived on the land. They spent a lot of time burning fires. They always had fires going. They were cooked. They were used for cooking, used for staying warm. They had uses for all of those things. And as modern Americans, we really don't, you know, have as much need for a constant fire the same way they did. You know, and they would keep all this brush and undergrowth and stuff cleaned up. And, you know, from using their fires for cooking and all the things that they did. So they did a good job of managing the land. A lot of the forestry services will have classes to teach you how to do burning, to teach you how to do prescribed burning. We're actually signed up for one in February, so we can be a little bit more comfortable with burning stuff that's actually on the ground. But just a little bit at a time. It can seem overwhelming when you So I think I told you we had a Texas Parks and Wildlife biologist come out and talk to us about managing our land, managing the property, and how to increase the wildlife populations and such, and take care of it. And she was saying one of the things that really made me think about this is how, again, back when the settlers were moving through and the Indians were here, and they used to say that they could, you know, the settlers could drive wagons through the forests. Well, obviously we can't drive a wagon through stuff like this. I'm sure there's thickets everywhere even then, but so much of our properties and lands have gotten so overgrown that they're just not being managed well. So I really want to do that, where again I can, You can walk under the trees, you could drive a wagon under the trees and restore it back like it used to be. And thinning some of these trees and some of these vines and things out. So, I mean, like even right in here, I can already see how I've gotten more sunlight to the ground after taking all these vines and stuff down. And so the sunlight hitting the ground, we should be able to regenerate and get a lot more of the natural grasses and things coming up, as well as making it a little bit safer for fire risks. So these things are important to me, and hopefully they're important to you, to better maintain our forests and our lands. So this whole thing in California with all the poor planning and forestry service issues, and so much of this stuff seems to come down to money. It really is the root of all evil. With people making fortunes. You know, I'm as green as the next person as a homesteader. You know, it's important to me to take care of things, take care of the land, the property, but not maintain the national forest and the federal protected forests and all those things. It's just a travesty. So I think we all need to do our part, do a little bit better. Whether you're in a backyard, you need to thin some trees to get more sunlight to the ground so you can grow more of your own food, or just to do what I'm doing today, kind of clean up, reduce your fire risk, get that sunlight on the ground, a little bit of soil disturbance, and we can help the land recover from to get it back where it once was. I really like the way that Stihl chainsaw runs. Only thing about it I'm not happy with is it goes through blades. I think I've had 4 blades for that thing now, and they don't get dull, they just get stretched out, and they don't continue to work well when they're all stretched out. And then I had that little electric one I think I got from Lowe's, that little blue one, and it is good for really small stuff, but if you actually got to cut something down, you need something with a little horsepower. I don't know if you can tell much, but making some steady progress, getting this clump right here cleaned up, and freeing up some of the good trees, and taking down some of the trees in here that are too thick, too crowded. Some of these I wouldn't have cut down, except the top was broken on it. Like this sassafras tree, I wouldn't have normally cut, but the whole top is broken. So we're going to clean that one up. And a lot of this was killed by these vines. The vines that were allowed to grow up into the tops of the trees and basically suffocate the tree. But these little Fisker shears do a nice job of chopping up some of the little stuff, the vines, making this a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day working on this, see what progress I can make in getting this little area cleaned up. So again, just it's up to us to take care of our homesteads, take care of our land, and manage it and restore it to what it used to be. And cleaning out a lot of the underbrush, fire protection, those things are all important. So hope you guys have a great day on your farm, homestead, or at home, and see you next time. Have a great day.